Station 3. When you talk in numbers, I don't know which one.
The old main
Murray?
station.
Okay. Did you get quotes for both rooms or 2 rooms, right? Is it Bossier? Bossier and Central.
That one's already been replaced.
Who did it?
Portbury did this one.
Okay. Do you have the invoice, or did you give it to me? Maybe you gave it to me.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
It's actually on this docket.
Okay. So Central is Station 3?
No. No, Central is. Yeah, no, that's the old station.
Murray.
That's what I looked at.
Yeah, they used to be the old, so they got it confused.
Bob going blind.
How much they ended up giving us for this?
3,000.
That's it?
Yeah, it was just no roofing and roof cap.
All right, well, I put in a PO to have it replaced today.
Okay, and that was like 32,000.
That's the cheapest one, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
That one's because see Pickens come back and said they weren't gonna do it.
Yeah, but they weren't going to do anything.
I'm gonna tell you why. If y'all got any quotes from them, his son did the quotes, and he was like, not accurate at all. And then Mr. Pickens told me this.
Yeah, they didn't use the program.
I called him.
Because we'll have to tear down everything that they have in there, and they have very specific cleaning requirements. It's the laundry list because they're a meal place. They provide free meals. Correct.
So I called him.
Yeah.
And that's when he told
All
me.
right, everybody ready?
Well, we asked them to come do some swap work repairs, and they said they're so busy.
All right, I'd like to go ahead and call this meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge and invocation.
But I got it.
May we bow our heads, please. Lord God, as we gather here tonight to discuss the business of the city of Ocean Springs, give us the guidance, the wisdom to make the right decisions for our city, the right decisions for our citizens. May we continue to move Ocean Springs forward in a positive manner. Father, be with us as we go, all of us, as we go about our daily lives. Protect us, guide us, help our families in any needs that we may have. God be with us all. God bless us all. For all these things we ask in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, do we have a motion to accept the agenda? So Motion, Mr. Alderman, second, Mr. Gill. All in favor?
Aye.
Mayor, one thing we need to pull item F up there.
We want to
Alderman Belvin's not here and he has to
That's
be
what they
pulled.
charged me.
So just, that needs to be pulled off before we accept.
Well, let me go ahead and accept the agenda, so we'll just pull up after that point. So, all opposed? Motion carries. Thank everybody. So we have some proclamations we're going to get started with, but first I want to, a couple announcements. First we have this, everybody be careful, we have a microphone coming to the middle table. It is very sensitive and it'll pick up all the chatter, so just make sure that you watch your comments and such, but also be careful not to trip over it in the middle of the room there.
It's temporary.
It's just temporary. Just trying it out, see if we like it. Next up, I would like to recognize 2 new elected officials for the city of Ocean Springs. Kenny Holloway is going to be our new mayor. Congratulations, he's here. And Kevin Wade is Alderman Ward 3, and they are here in the audience. Would you like to say anything? Putting you on the spot.
and put on the spot quite a bit lately. I just want to say I'm looking forward to working with everyone, and has offered assistance in the transition, and I appreciate that. So we'll have an easy transition, and I'll be getting around. Old Bobby, I'll send you a text before I show up. But I'll be getting around here in the next few weeks, just trying to make sure everybody has a face with a name, and just kind of discuss departments with you and see what your needs are and what you're working on. So looking forward to it. I left Ocean Springs back in 1979 after I graduated from high school and went off to college, and was able to come back a few years back, so I've come full circle, and it's awfully humbling to be able to come back and be there and see the work with those. So looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you.
Kevin, go ahead.
Hey, I want to thank y'all for, everything, and I look forward to working with y'all in the future. Thanks.
Appreciate it. All right, and we'll get started with a couple of proclamations. First up, we have National Public Works Week. So, Candace, would you like to go on that?
Before you start, Mayor, I just want to say every week is Public Works Week.
That's true. You're right.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
Yeah.
All right, but this is the National Public Works Week of 2021. Whereas public works services provided in our community are an integral part of our citizens' everyday lives, and the support of an understanding and informed citizenry is vital to the efficient operation of public works systems and programs such as water, sewers, streets, and highways, public buildings, and solid waste collection. Whereas the health and safety and comfort of this community greatly depends on these facilities and services, and the quality and effectiveness of those facilities, as well as their planning, design, and construction, is vitally dependent upon the efforts and skill of public works officials. And whereas the efficiency of qualified and dedicated personnel who staff public works departments is materially influenced by the people's attitude and understanding of the importance of the work they perform. Whereas the American Public Works Association has celebrated the annual National Public Works Week since 1960, whereas in the city of Ocean Springs, and I call upon all citizens and civic organizations to acquaint themselves with the issues involved in providing our public works, and to recognize the contribution which public works officials and employees make every day to our health, safety, comfort, and quality of life. Now, therefore, I, Shade Opson, Mayor of the City of Ocean Springs, do proudly proclaim the week of May 16th through the 22nd, 2021, as National Public Works Week 2021. No. Well, on behalf of the Public Works Department, they do a fantastic job, and there's always struggles with the city. There's funding and things break all the time, and these guys that work at Public Works are always out, on call. I remember during the last hurricane, they were out in the middle of the hurricane working to try to get, I believe it was a water line, repaired, and so we can't thank y'all enough. You're out there literally in the middle of hurricanes doing your job, so thank y'all for that. All right, and next up is Pedestrian Safety Awareness Month. Liz, would you like to lead this stuff?
We brought the whole crew this time.
All right. Whereas the City of Ocean Springs strives to be one of the safest cities for pedestrians in the state. And whereas all Ocean Springs residents and visitors deserve to live and visit a community that promotes safe driving behaviors to protect walkers, joggers, bikers, and other vehicles. And whereas according to the Mississippi Department of Transportation, unintentional pedestrian injuries are the 5th leading cause of injury-related death in the United States for children ages 5 to 19. And whereas hundreds of children and adults could be saved each year if communities take steps to make pedestrian safety a top priority, and community awareness can help prevent injuries and fatalities in Ocean Springs. And whereas the Ospreys, Ocean Springs Pedestrian and Residents for Exercise and Youth Safety, is a local nonprofit dedicated to improving pedestrian safety in our community. Partnering with local businesses and residents, the Ospreys is on a mission to educate and create awareness of pedestrian safety and safe driving behaviors. And whereas the Ospreys are currently promoting the Pace Car Pledge, which residents sign and pledge to drive the posted speed limit, share the road with others, stop to let pedestrians cross at crosswalks, and reduce speed around children. Now, therefore, I, Shade Opson, Mayor of the City of Ocean Springs, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2021 as Pedestrian Safety Awareness Month.
the city, the police chief, the aldermen, mayor, everybody for being so supportive and kind, and Megan for holding my hand as we walk through this together, because we don't know about all this stuff. But we just really appreciate that it was, you know, welcomed with overwhelming support. You guys have just been so kind to embrace our cause, and we're excited to see everybody sign the Pace Car Pledge and get a cool sticker that you guys are hopefully going to approve in a minute. And we're excited to work with Mayor-elect Holloway. Anybody? Thanks, guys.
All right. So we have a public hearing which is withdrawn, so we will skip past that and move straight to agenda public comment. If anybody has any questions or comments on anything related to any item specific on the agenda, you may come to the podium now and address the board for 3 minutes. All right, seeing none, we will go to old business. Item A is to execute agreement with Jackson County regarding public defender services for 2 years. All right, motion on Mr. Gill to approve.
Second.
Second on Mr. Hoffman. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, discuss authorizing Osprey's use of city logo and police department logo on pace car pledge and decal. This is something we have met with Osprey's, kind of gone over the specifics on the wording and you know, how they're going to approach it. Real excited. We're happy that they're you know, doing this. I think it'll help, you know, just make people think twice about you know, making sure they obey all the posted traffic signs.
I'd like to make a motion to approve 6D.
All right, motion to approve by Mr. Gill, second by Mr. Blackman. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, now for the great news about property insurance renewal from Mr. Scott Lemon.
Woo!
Come on, man.
Yeah, give us baby money.
Like Candy passed out all the good news.
You're paying us, aren't you, Scott?
It's been a rough start to the year. We didn't even have a freeze like that. John Gill is getting out at a good time. So I appreciate the chance to be here. We've had several meetings with MP and Cox and Mayor to really kind of talk about strategic things going on in this renewal cycle. We've made some decisions that we really needed to make, and I think we've got a good place where we're going. We're renewing the property program, okay? So that's all the buildings and everything that's in the buildings. It's the police, it's the auto physical damage, which is when one of them wrecks or gets damaged. It's also the parks and recreations package policy that covers their preschool or daycare and after-school care, and a golf cart. So that's really what we're talking about. It all comes up end of May. We started meeting in January to make sure we're heading in the right direction. So a couple things going on in the industry right now. And as to, we're coming out of a 7-year soft market cycle where prices were pressuring down. If you look on page 4, there's a chart that really kind of shows what we've been facing here. And if you look at the gray bar that starts back in 2011 at $1.45, that's really what you're paying for $100 of coverage. So it was 1.45%. It bottomed out at 65 cents per $100 of cover. We did some things in those years, bought more coverage, even as the prices were going down, as we've had strategic decisions. You can see where your values went up, and that was really when Tacony came back into your preview and a couple other things like that. So we're just in the market cycle, and just like we played it when the market cycle was going down, we made some decisions. They were a little easier then, Mike, but we're gonna have to just make some decisions as the market cycle goes up. One of the big things we did was we looked at the building values and the schedule of values. So we kind of got some hints on this last year. We did inspections. We had the State Rating Bureau do inspections on 20 of the buildings
give us a valuation or a cost per square foot. So we went through a whole valuation process. We've done this historically 2 or 3 times, about on a 4 or 5 year cycle. So we had to look at increasing our building values to really work better with the markets. We increased the building values about 15 to 18% from where they stand now. And that was just to get us closer to replacement cost, to be able to negotiate some of those terms. And that was a decision we made, I think, back in March or early April, as we were going through the process. So there's a couple things we're gonna, as we go forward, we'll look at some of the deductibles, we'll look at some of the buildings on whether you want to insure them. I know we've had that conversation before. Might be a different decision we get at this point. So we'll look at top end. Do we need to buy wind coverage for the full $38 million worth of buildings? But we'll look at those options and see where the cost comes in, where we get to your budget. What we want to try to protect is the terms and conditions of your policy. We bought blanket coverage, which gives you broader coverages than if it's just a scheduled building. And a couple of those things that we'll work with the insurance committee to work through, and and look at those options. Because if you look back on the 3rd page, kind of review where we are on our timeline. We started in January. We went through and end of March, really kind of set the building values, and then in April, we took it to 80% of replacement costs. That's really as far as we wanted to push it. And then we're going to meet with an insurance committee Monday night, or Monday sometimes, and try to say, hey, here's our options. What do we want to settle in, and try to negotiate final terms, and bring either a recommendation to the board next week, or next meeting, or some options, 1 or 2 options to give you a chance to make some decisions on that. So, any thoughts or comments, especially those who've been involved in this all along?
I know you were checking with for the ARC policy about rolling that over to the other to save some funds. Did that turn out like you were expecting?
We're still working with Huntington Block. They haven't gotten back with us. We've given them all the information, and they said it wouldn't be a problem. We had asked if we could combine the Walter Anderson murals and this listing also, and they said it's really 2 different things. We'd have to keep it separate, but I haven't gotten a cost back from them. I will double check on that.
So, and that was one of the things when we started putting all the PAPA's pieces on this policy. It was most economical place to put it. Well, it might be time to move it for broader coverages as these deductibles and what the prices. So yeah, hopefully we'll have some on that.
Yeah, I got one. That wind insurance just keeps going up.
It has been the last 3 years. I mean, and it's one of the things that's, because of the storms we've had over the last couple of years worldwide. Texas had a $25 billion freeze event in the first quarter, which did a lot of, had an impact. So we're seeing a lot of the carriers that have a lot of losses, John, start to push prices up. What's different about this market cycle than any in the past is there's new capacity out there. We've got 2 new players, 2 big new players, and we've used them on the school district, we use them on the county, some other large schedules. They're coming in at a fair market rate, but they don't have any losses to tote with them. So that's where we're going to kind of play this. It was big for us to review the schedule and take some increase in values as well. That was something important for us to do this go around.
I know homeowners with insurance is just going skyrocket.
Yeah, there's fewer and fewer right now as well. So it's getting thin.
So Scott, have you got a projected increase yet? About what percentage?
So when we originally started talking to the market in January, February timeframe, they were saying 25 to 35%.
Yeah, I think that's when we had to pick Bobby up off the floor.
Thanks for bringing that up, Mike. So, and really what we have seen, what we've seen on some of the larger schedules on the coast is value, which we're gonna try to hedge and negotiate. And we've had to give some terms back as well. We weren't able to buy the product coverages we were to get that level of increase. But I have a feeling we'll know all the cards on the table Monday. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Scott.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Scott.
Appreciate it.
All right, moving to item B. This is an amendment to the ordinances. This is simply making Magnolia at Porter a four-way stop. Yeah, instead of just a two, I guess, yeah, two-way stop. So, yeah, this right at Forest Hill, where Forest Hill meets Porter, right there on Magnolia.
Well, I'd like to go ahead and make the motion that we amend the ordinance to make that a four-way stop at Magnolia and Porter.
Second. All right, motion of Mr. Blackman, second of motion of Mr. Cox, second of Mr. Blackman. Any further discussion? All right, we'll need a roll call. Mr. Gill?
Aye.
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 All right,
Now,
motion passes.
since Joey's absent tonight, does they go immediately, or?
I don't know, how would that?
Would that be considered unanimous with his absence?
I think it is. I think if you've got super majority here, so I think you're good in 6.
Okay.
I do have a question, Ricky. Just beyond that, on Forest Hill and the curve, there's a stop sign. Is that one gonna stay as well?
Yeah, we tried to do something with that one, but they were having problems with it. The neighbors that live on the north side of it, but
I just was curious, it's like
it's right there.
50 feet, no stop signs.
What, they're having issues with the cars backing up there, or?
No, I think that problem was the guy that lives in the most far north house. He was saying that it's a problem right there, which is that one.
Speeding.
It can be. I take that way home a lot, and it's just the way it's a big turn. It's when you're coming up Forest Hill towards Porter, well, I guess towards Magnolia. It's hard to see. So
I know you gotta stop so far back on Porter this way. I mean, it's like maybe 30, 40 feet.
on Porter or Forest Hill?
On Porter. White lines across this, but that is way back.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have Public
Push
Works
that
look
up.
at it. All right, moving to item C. This is the MOU and the hold harmless agreement with the Walter Anderson Theater Project. We've been working, Sarah and I and Nicole have been working on this. We met with them a few days ago, and everybody's good with all the terms. I don't know if there's any discussion or any questions on that.
This has no conflict with songwriters.
No, we sent it to the songwriters and asked them for their feedback, and yeah, they're good with it.
Okay.
I'll make the motion we approve the MOU with the Walter Anderson Theater Project.
All right, motion by Mr. Blackman, second by Mr. Impey. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank y'all. All right, next up is appoint library board member to fill the vacancy with term ending June 30th, 2025.
So moved.
All right, motion
Second.
by Mr. Altman, second by Mr. Gill. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
And just for the record, that's Dr. Terry
Gaethe.
Gaethe. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Gay.
All right, authorized to advertise the open position for city boards and commissions set to expire June 30th, 2021.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Gill,
Second.
second by Mr. Blackman. Any discussion?
Yeah, I do have, we will have one more to add to that list. Alderman Wade being elected.
Oh, yeah.
He's on the Parks and
Oh.
Rec Board, so that
Okay.
position will be vacant come July 1.
I'd
Okay.
like to amend my motion to add that vacancy.
All right, motion amended by Mr. Gill, and who was the second? Second by Mr. Blackman. All right, any further discussion?
Ricky, at one point when we were talking about this, you had brought something up that Nicole mentioned bringing up in here instead of email.
Yeah, that was, how many people were getting off of the planning commission at one time?
3.
3.
there was this discussion to try and get them to where they're back spaced out again, because it's, I know Rob and I have been on that board before when it's a complete overhaul, and it's tough. I mean, planning commission is a very important role for the city when it comes to things that are coming to us. You know, they vet all the, you know, projects, anything that, all the applications that go through planning, so, I kind of felt like we should have, you know, extended a few of the people a couple of months or 3 months or at least a quarter to try and get them staggered again.
I think we had that discussion before and talked about needing to do that, just that thing. So, I mean, should we add a year maybe to one, or?
How many of them do we have?
There's 3.
There's 3 coming off.
Well, you could do, with the
6
3 coming
months.
off, you could do one, one appointed now, one 6 months, and one
Another
6
6
months
months.
after
I think
that.
6 months is enough time to
6
get.
months would allow for a transition that's not difficult, yeah. It would at least give us enough time to, now what you could do is if you go ahead and advertise for all 3 and then just phase in their implementation. Because you never know, I mean, I don't even know, we sent out an email to all the commissions letting them know who is expiring so they can put in their application. But I don't know for sure if they're all gonna reapply.
Right.
So, so if you go ahead and take the applications all at the same time, and then you can just phase in
I think
their.
it would work a whole lot better for the
Now,
city.
so you're saying going forward that they would not all expire at the same?
I think saying with these 3, I think you have either by seniority, one to be, reappointed.
Right.
If they want to be reappointed.
We can talk to them and see
then
whether.
the other 2, pick one to go 6 months down the road and one a year later, so.
I can talk to them next week
Just
at
change
the
the
meeting.
expiration.
Do they all want to stay on?
I don't know for sure. I know that 2 of them, well, I know that 1 for sure, the other 2 I haven't talked to, so, I'll kind of get a pulse of it next
But
week.
really,
I don't think there's any limit on that planning.
There's not like a term limit per se now.
And really, there should be that way for all the boards, because it looks like there's 3 on all of them.
When's the last time the adjustments and appeals for the building department met?
About 5 years ago.
Last time Rob had a meeting.
Yeah, but that's what I was fixing to say, if these guys are willing to stay on, because they're all contractors and they're different fields, is that unless they wanted to get off, I mean, we hadn't had to use them that I've known, so.
You could stagger their terms too, just like with the planning commission.
Well, I know planning commission is a vital role for moving forward with the city.
It's hard to have that big gap. I would just ask though for help from the mayor's office, because it's the good thing about us doing it at the same time is we can do the advertisement and get in the applications. So, even if we take applications once a year, because the other complication is that we're trying to get an equal representation by ward. So it all depends, that's just another complicating thing. So if we can take applications once a year but then phase in when they actually take effect. That would be helpful. Yeah, but just take the application one time a year.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes
So there's
sense,
no
so you don't have to
confusion.
continue to
So, with the Coast Transit one, we're gonna have to make a change on that one because she doesn't live in the city anymore.
Okay.
So that's one that we're gonna have to, go out and advertise for.
Okay, and I'm curious, why is the 911 commission on there? I mean, we appointed Chief Dunstan, that wasn't something that we really took applications for.
JCUA too.
It has an expiration date.
It don't have an expiration date?
It does. That's why I put it on there.
Just gotta renew it.
Yeah.
We just, can we not just reappoint him then? I mean, that doesn't make any sense to go out.
I don't see why not. Is that, Will, do you know if that's something?
I mean, it wasn't. one that he
By the way,
applied
thank you for stepping in, Will. Nicole wasn't able to join us tonight. It was.
I can't say with 100% accuracy, but just thinking quickly on it, I don't think that should be an issue.
Okay. I mean, we can go ahead and appoint him now, maybe pending any legal concerns or review. I don't know. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, we've had discussions in the past, and I know before Nicole and Kevin had said, we really don't have to take, I mean, we could reappoint every one of these people if they were willing to be reappointed. We don't have to take applications. So it's just particularly in the point of the 911 commission on the better chief.
Mike, you wanna wait and do them all at one time, maybe if y'all straighten it out. Say, between now and next meeting, we can make one motion to do it all.
Yeah, I mean, either way, it's not like it's gonna,
I think
one meeting.
the ACA should stay the same.
No, I don't want advertising, I don't want.
Well, not for my-
No, no, we're not gonna, no.
What do you wanna, you could amend your, who made the motion? Was it you?
No, nobody made
Oh,
one
okay.
yet. I could make a motion to go ahead and table this till next meeting. Sound like a cricket in here. Table this till next meeting.
Well, we can make, yeah, we can make a motion putting in those term limits
Yeah.
staggered, and then just, instead of going out for the 911 commission, just appoint Chief Dunstan back.
Yeah, we can let Nicole and you take a look at it all, straighten it all out,
Make one
and
motion.
come back next meeting, but then
Work for me?
So we withdrew the motion, or?
No, yeah, well, there is a motion on the floor, right? That's what I thought.
Yeah, he withdrew it, then you withdrew it.
I didn't know.
To advertise for.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, okay, for
I'm
advertising, yeah.
about to, okay, different.
Just to advertise open positions, we can consider 911 not an open position. And advertise for the rest.
All right, we'll do that.
Yeah,
Sounds good,
good.
Mr. Gill? We'll consider we'll advertise for the rest, and then just reappoint Chief Dunstan to the 911 commission.
Yeah.
So that's your motion?
Yeah.
Okay. Motion, Mr. Gill, and it was seconded by, Mr. Blackman. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
And I'll make a motion to appoint Chief Dunstan back to the 911 commission.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Impey, seconded by Mr. Hoffman. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
You're welcome, Chief.
Good job.
Some of it once.
All right. Item F is going to be pulled. Alderman Joey Bellman asked to revisit that, possibly at a later date, but he's not here, so he would like to pull that. So we'll go to item G. Discuss temporarily pausing public rentals at the senior center due to requirements imposed by DHHS. The senior center is predominantly has, what's the group?
They're grant funded from the Department of Human and Safety, or, yeah. Yeah, Human Health and Safety, because they are a meal service program. So the CDC came down with extremely specific regulations for COVID, especially since they're all seniors. And I had talked with Stephen and Patty, and it would be difficult to break everything down that they have to do. They have to put up barriers between each person. They have signs every like 3 feet in there to rent it out, and we don't get that many rentals there anyway. So for a time period, we were hoping to pause rentals. That way they don't have to break down and set up after each event.
That's mandatory or suggested?
No, it's mandatory.
They get federal dollars. so
Or they'll
it's-
cut funding.
Let's just make a motion to temporary pause public rentals at the senior center.
Second.
All right, motion Mr. Cox, second Mr. Blackman. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank y'all. All right, and to item H, discuss contributing up to $4,000 to the 2021 Household Hazardous Waste Day event, and provide at least 4 representatives to work the 6-hour event per the Jackson County Board of Supervisors Solid Waste Department.
So move, man.
Patty, we good with this? We got
Bring your
this.
paint, bring your tires.
We do this every year.
I think it's needed.
We have it for people.
It's an annual deal.
Or doesn't, or
What was the question?
do we have the 4 people?
I've
Yes.
got,
Candace already.
I've got one also that we volunteered, so if it needs somebody else.
Yeah, we'll get it from Public Works and or building. So, all right, motion by Mr. Gill to accept.
Second.
Second by Mr. Cox. Any further discussion?
You admit they don't have to say a date on here.
It's
May 15th.
May
Yeah, May
15th.
15th at the old Singer Hall property.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, now anybody have anything for the consent?
Make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
All right, so motion by Mr. Blackman, second by Mr. Hempy, and all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, department reports. Real quick, Chick has the Cruising the Coast application that we need to go ahead and get approved so that they can go ahead and start planning and getting the financials together and advertising and all that good stuff.
This year's cruising will be 7th, 8th, and 9th of October. And we have the permit here, everything's filled out. We just need to go ahead and approve it tonight so that they can go ahead and advertise like Ocean Springs as an event here in Ocean Springs on those dates for cruising. I think we're going to meet Friday with Woody Bailey, Cynthia Sutton, Mayor, and to determine, and also Ron Johnson from Mobile, sorry, about the location of the stage. There has been a few people discuss that with me, and we feel like we found the right place, but I just want everybody to be on board with it once they decide where it's going to be. Because remember, anything you do on that avenue affects cruising, because the way it's laid out, you have to go down Washington and go to the highway without having too many problems, because some of these vehicles have a hard time turning anyway. So we have to always think of that. One thing that we did do this year was we went ahead and advertised it now. It goes out to everybody. The entrance now will be up Jackson Avenue to Ocean over to Washington, because if y'all have noticed the last few weeks that Washington really floods down here, this little bit of wind out of the south, it's flooding. We don't want to bring those cars through the salt water. And they don't want to go through the salt. But if we put the stage there at the Chamber of Commerce, we already have all the electricity that we need, 220. Plus, we think we can configure the stage. That give us almost the same.
Can you turn that mic on without Megan? Can you?
If we configure the stage on that lot, we can have almost as much area as we did over there at the lot. So it got to be good. Count the street, want to be in the street. But the only drawback we have there is the train. It's right against the railroad track, but maybe we can talk to them and get them not to blow.
Yeah, right.
Good luck. Yeah, good luck with that.
So is that official where the stage will be, or is that still?
Well, they'll make that decision.
Okay.
They pay for it, so, you know, I mean, it's their call.
Yeah.
Now, the only other place that we could do that I know of is, if we had to, would be one of these other places, but.
Well, I got some ideas, but that's.
The only thing is, they want it on the main drag because they want everybody to see it. And they also want it downtown because that's where all the activity is.
What time are we meeting Friday?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Okay. And then Megan and I have been working with Mr. Fayard to get his property. He's given the consent to use the property. The only thing that he wants is a whole homeless statement in the normal page of events that we give him to sign off on. And I've talked to the attorney, and I think he can have it put in there. But he doesn't want to assume the responsibility for the firecrackers if they go askew. So, and I don't blame him. But that's not saying it will. But I mean, just anything can happen, you know. So, any questions?
And painting the columns.
Oh, and he did. The only stipulation he had was that we paint the graffiti off of the white columns down there. Some of it's pretty gray.
So I got a question about that. So we're gonna paint them tomorrow, and then day after tomorrow, they're gonna be graffitied again. So who's gonna keep painting them? Because, you know, I went through this with all that time after time, and he doesn't wanna paint them because we signed an MOU saying that we're gonna use the property. So are we prepared to keep painting them every week? Because the neighbors are tired of looking at it.
Well, in this case, you just paint them on the 3rd, and then you know that that's gonna happen again. It always just doesn't. In fact, they've caught one of the guys, the police department has, they've got him. And so
I'd be willing to bet you that the day they get painted, the next day you're gonna have.
Well, I told Earl, I said, Earl, why don't you just meet with the police department and the judge and everybody?
Well, you
and
just tear them
avoid
down.
painting.
Just tear them down.
Well, I mean,
You can sit out there overnight and keep an eye on it.
I think we can get it painted, you know, a day or two before and just try to have extra patrol there, you know, down Front Bayou or something.
You can hire private security real cheap.
Well,
A lot cheaper than us.
One way, we'll figure it out one way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just telling you that it's bad. I mean, even the north side of the bridge right now is bad.
Oh, I know. Yeah. And I think you're gonna find out that this little guy that did the painting is a talented artist. Those even said that they'd like for him to go ahead and paint something on it.
Make it nice. Huh?
Well, all right,
So we need a motion to accept, to approve the permit for cruising the coast.
Right.
Make that motion.
All right, motion on Mr. Cox.
Second.
Second on Mr. Hoffman. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
And Mayor, we need a motion for the agreement, the MOA, for the Fayette property with the inclusion of that.
The hold on.
note in there.
So I think at this time, I need to get with Nicole on the hold harness and firecrackers, but y'all can certainly make the motion pending
Legal review.
legal review.
She had sent me a land use agreement that we can use, that we've used previously, and there was a stipulation that she was gonna add in, to cover
We
that.
should be able to do that next meeting.
And he's waiting on it to sign it, so as soon as I get it, I'll get it to him, get it back to you.
The only question I have real quick is on the painting, does he want us just to do that the one time, like after the fireworks or
Just the one
before?
time for
Just
the
the one
He
time?
doesn't want
Okay.
anybody to say anything, especially kids. It's,
Yeah.
things down there that shouldn't be down there.
Okay.
And no one should be on that property, by the way, because it's a 300-foot, I think the chief knows how many feet we gotta be away from it. And, I think they'll be down there that day, for sure.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it once we do paint it.
Yeah, you got to keep the kids off the sand pile.
Maybe we'll own it.
Hopefully the sand pile should be gone by then. Because they start, and that's, the Living Shoreline project is staging there. So that's all considering that they will be done, because they have to wait for the county to finish and
I
get it
saw them
away.
putting culverts in on Sunday.
So hopefully, as long as the counties, they plan to start, I think, closer to the end of May. So as long as weather permitting and everything, that they're out of there by the end of June. Otherwise, we currently have a hold harmless with Bayard for them to stage their equipment there for that project. So we just, hopefully they'll be done and out of the way.
Carolyn, will it appear to be available for cruise?
Nope.
The what?
Piers. For
Piers?
cruising or for the?
Piers?
Yeah, for cruising.
Oh,
Piers.
the harbor pier is not gonna be done until probably June.
Yeah, I don't,
The
I'm not
McPherson
sure. I
pier is
don't know
probably
what you're
gonna
on
be this summer sometime, and then the one north of the bridge is gonna be probably past summer because of the structural damage. They're just engineering it now.
All right, well, let's, so let's settle this, the Fayard property. Is there a motion to go ahead and approve the MOA, right?
Well, do we
I think
have
it's
to
a
do that,
land
or
use
can we just
agreement.
wait
Land
till
use
the
agreement.
next meeting?
We can
When
wait
it's
till,
all ready?
we can wait till the next meeting. Would y'all prefer to
It
do
doesn't
that?
have to be done.
Yeah, just
tonight.
have it right and we'll approve it next
Yeah.
meeting.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll do that. All right. Okay, so we'll go ahead and wait for that check for the next meeting. Does anybody have any thing for the docket of claims?
I'd like to make a motion to approve docket claims.
I'll
second it.
All right, motion on Mr. Blackman, seconded by Mr. Gill. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Monthly budget report.
Now make a motion to accept the monthly budget report.
All right, motion on Mr. Gill.
Second.
Second, Mr. Blackman, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. All right, some, one water sewer account, 119 Beverly Drive, this is the one we tabled from last meeting.
I'll make a motion that we go ahead and do the adjustment for the water sewer account at 119 Beverly Drive.
Next motion by Mr. Patania, who's that, second Mr. Gill. Any discussion?
Well, I just want to say, you know, I understand it happened and stuff, but some of these numbers, I mean, I just don't understand how somebody could use that much water and not realize that there's a problem. But that's something we're gonna have to brush up on, you know,
The new
moving
system?
forward.
Ricky, I'm in
It
agreement.
rains so much, you probably wouldn't know if you had to wait.
That's the reason
How
I'm
much
full.
water?
So, go ahead, Patty.
Well, so I think I wrote it all out. So what happened was, it's on the side of the house or the back of a house. This money, I mean, this is happening for almost 3 months because it's happening for a month before you know it.
Yeah.
And then it's another month and they're not going back there. The husband's a truck driver, he's not home. You know, they still owe, I think, $1,200. I mean, I called the property management person. She told me they got somebody over there as soon as they all found it out. The new system that's coming on with Aclara is going to give us that ability for us to see that
Did
people's.
they
Yeah.
pay their bill direct?
Do they pay their
Do they,
bill
do they
direct?
pay it over online?
I hope
I mean,
not.
cause surely over 3 months, they noticed their bill was.
Well,
Should be a single.
I mean, that's all I'm saying. I mean,
Yeah.
I understand things happen, but I mean, but some people have to take ownership too. If you go 3 months and you get the bill every month, I mean, the city sent me my bill the last 3 months. I mean, I think
Well,
it's.
yeah, I was trying to think, and I can't see it. Megan, can you go back up? Because it's been 13 days ago or whatever since I read it. But like I said, I called this Kathy. They got someone out. That was $2,200. They're still gonna pay $1,200 or $1,500. You're only gonna do the sewer, and the sewer did not go in the sewer. The water did not go in the sewer.
Right, no, I get
Yeah.
it.
So you cut
But-
the sewer.
Yeah, you're not relieving the water part, and so.
That's 3 to 1, so it's the cheapest way to.
Well, and again, the new system, I don't know how sensitive it's gonna be, but we hope that's gonna put all this away for you guys. Once we can see that there's a problem, I will have to do a mail out to get good fax not fax.
Now, would you just
total.
get a red light like on your computer showing you that?
It'll
Something
actually
like that.
show a graph, John, of the hot areas each day where it made a big change. We just have to decide the sensitivity, and then we have to be able to reach out to you through your phone or something and tell you you have a problem. We're not gonna be able to
Yeah.
trust the mail system.
Well, if you
Because
get,
it's got a lot
if
of
you send
problems.
them, if you send them mail, that's 4 days it'd be running. Why can't you just?
No, it's not necessarily 4 days anymore. Yeah. We sent a check out April 23rd, and Dogan Wilkinson got it today. So we can't trust the mail for leaks. It's
Well,
not
no,
gonna
again,
work.
you're just gonna get one of you guys and just go knock on the door.
Yes, sir. We'll either have to go to the door, or hopefully we'll get an update of people's, so we can text them and call them. That's the hope.
There you go. And document it.
That's all.
Alright, that's it. Alright, do we?
I made the motion.
Okay, alright, yeah, whichever, alright, all in favor?
I got it.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Alright, Hurricane Zeta damage repair update. Patty and Mindy been working on this tirelessly, yeah.
So we've been working on this tirelessly, as you say. There's 2 elements to this claim. With these damages, we have a property insurance claim for part of it, and we also have a FEMA claim for part of it. So we've been meeting with our FEMA project manager once a week. We've also been meeting internally with staff once a week because there's so many damages. We're getting together to make a plan and see where we are every week. About 2 weeks ago, we got a letter from FEMA and said, unbeknownst to us, we were under a tight deadline. We have to have all the debris information gathered together and uploaded into their portal by next Tuesday. And that's the major piece of the damages. So that's a lot of paperwork that we've been working on to put together. We've had 2 site visits with FEMA. They've come out and looked at Fort Maupaw and some of the lift station damages. We're still due a couple more site visits, so we're hoping we can get those in the next couple weeks. We've been working on ball field lighting. Patty's done a great job on that. We have some resolutions on the agenda tonight for the pier, repair of the pier, ball field lighting at Clay Boyd and Stephen Parker, and repair of the splash pads. We're getting estimates for roofing. We have quite a few roofing repairs. Fire department has gotten one of their roofs fixed. We still have another. The major insurance claim we had, dollar-wise, was for the library roof. And the library has two roofing systems. They have a flat roof in the middle, and then they have a perimeter roof that's pitched with shingles, and that's where the insurance claim was. And the library roof has been a problem for years, but they're really having some serious leaking. And she sent us pictures. The last big storm, they had to move a lot of the bookshelves around because they were having a deluge. But the county has a plan to redo the library roof along with several libraries in Jackson County, but
So I sent you all that, and the way the plan is going right now, and I have not reached out to Mr. Fulton and them, but the way I understood the plan, they intend to do Pascagoula's library first, which is going to push us out. They think that that one would be done by the hurricane season of 2022. Then they intend to do Moss Point and Ocean Springs. But we have such a problem with our roof, I'm not sure that we're not gonna have to do something. I'm not sure we can go that far out unless the county agrees to move us up. I don't know if Pascagoula has a roof issue also, or I just know its whole library needs a lot.
Well, Patty, can they just like come over and repair it and fix it till it holds, till we can,
Well,
till 22, you
right,
know?
we got-
Because, I mean, we may have a hurricane in between here and there and damage the new roof. They may get damage to that new roof and we
yes, sir.
still get a new roof.
We do have some insurance money for it. We was wanting to not spend $30,000 to repair something that was gonna get a whole new roof. But if we're gonna be that far out, we could be forced to go ahead and try to do enough to keep the library safe until that time. That
Well, I
could be
think
a
the
job.
supervisor would pay for that probably if you asked them.
Well, they're gonna get a bond.
I think the best course of action at this point is to ask them to swap
Consider.
us in Pascagoula, since we have probably the most severe problem with our roof. It'd
And-
be worth a shot. I don't know, we'll just go ahead and reach out to Brian Fulton. and
Is
see
that,
if
would that
there's
be
any
something we would
suggestions.
ask the mayor to
Yeah.
ask them to consider?
Yeah.
That
Yeah, I
would
can-
be
I can
need to
talk
be
to
a
Brian.
motion.
Yeah, if the damage is really that, you know,
I
that
mean, I
bad.
don't know the extent of the damage in Pascagoula, but I mean, if we're in worse shape, we need to get bumped up on the list.
Yeah, I'll call Brian tomorrow and talk to
Yeah,
him.
they intend to close down these libraries while they do everything, which is why they're staggering them. But if we could get moved to the front, it would help. Like Rob said, I don't know what Pascagoula's needs are, but if we could speak to him, or if we can give the mayor permission to address that, because I think he has to have permission to even write a letter to get them to consider it.
Well, I know that Pascagoula got a brand new roof in '08, and I know that we did repairs here in '08. Because I was involved with both of those projects. But
Well, how about this? How about
they
if-
should be in better shape than us, is what I'm saying.
Well, how about this? Let me ask for a motion to approve me to write a letter requesting that. I'll call Brian tomorrow just on the phone and talk to him just in general about how Pascagoula is and if.
I'll make a motion, so move, man.
And if we want to go ahead and pull the trigger on it, I'll send a letter. So would you like to make that
Yeah,
motion?
make a motion,
All right, motion, Mr. Hill, second, Mr. Blackman. Any discussion?
Just an FYI, we can send it. I seriously doubt they're going to consider it. Pascagoula is going to be a major overhaul. Everything mechanical in that building.
Oh, wow.
From the air handling units to the ductwork, grills, you name it, it's all getting yanked.
They've let it go, Mike, for years.
Well, some of these units are well beyond their life expectancy. I mean, some of these air handling units have been in that library 35 or more years, way beyond what they should have gone. They're being held together with bubble gum and prayers, yeah. But I think the total expenditure at the Pascagoula Library is going to be in excess of $2 million. And that's why it's the priority. I mean, I think they've got mold in their ducts, and it's a disaster. It's a disaster.
Well, it's worth a shot, because our re-roof would take 4 months to do, if that. Probably 3. So, I mean, if they could bump us up and just knock that out.
Yeah, I'll talk to Brian. I'll just have a frank conversation with him and see what, you know.
Well, they can hire more than one contractor too.
Yeah, Ocean Springs is going to be a re-roof. They're going to do some ceiling redesign. They're going to replace all the ceiling grills in there, clean the ductwork, and replace all the plumbing fixtures in there, and kind of.
Are we getting 5 new air conditioners? I didn't read it closely.
Yes, ma'am, 5 new rooftops.
Because I bought 2 already. so.
Are they requesting?
The libraries have gotten so bad that
As
the
of right now,
city
they
can't
have not.
afford them. Can't
That's not
afford to
been
repair
discussed
them.
again.
All right, so let me settle this motion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion
Now, I got
carries.
one question, to, Patty and Mindy. I know, after hurricanes, for about 6, 7 months, y'all stressed out trying to, satisfy FEMA. And it's a lot of work. And I know, Patty, you work on weekends, and Mindy, I think you do too. Will FEMA pay for someone to come in and do that job? And I know you'll have to help her with, or him or whoever, but I mean, it sure would take a lot of burden off of y'all. Cause I know you're doing the budget, and then you're trying to do the FEMA stuff, and that FEMA stuff, I know Hurricane Katrina, we were still getting, money from FEMA, 10 years later. So, I mean, you know, they were still working on stuff. It's just crazy, you know? So maybe, what I'm saying is maybe if you could get something like that, maybe FEMA will pay for it.
They would, John. They would let me hire somebody to put them at Public Works to, what happens is it's the day-to-day activity that we recover it correctly and all. And if we don't get it recovered correctly, we have to rebuild it and make it work. So we could hire someone that put them down there and say, your only job is to go out in the yard and see who's driving what, when, why, and where. We could do that. We thought we had a hold of it. We were going and trying to interact with them, but next time, if I could ever get it set up right, probably we wouldn't have to have that. But you're right, it is a lot of work, but it's a lot of money, and you know, we want to recover that money for the city, and we're going to recover that money.
Meanwhile, you could be looking for someone, because we got hurricane season coming up. So don't wait till the
When I
last minute.
retire,
you know.
John, I'm gonna
Not
do that.
only that, you got the Parks and Rec could use someone, you know, and then right here at City Hall, y'all could use them. I don't know how many FEMA will pay for, but it's just something that y'all.
Well, and we did hire somebody on staff that we have for several years after FEMA, because the projects were so massive and it took several years to complete.
Yeah.
Well, what they'll do is they'll pay 5% on the DAC. So if it's 1.3 million, whatever 5% is what they will give us for the administrative cost. What happened in Nate was we spent about 19,000 on city staff to do it, and we're gonna recover 47,000, so we still made the city $30,000.
It's awesome.
It just worked, John. We don't care. We don't have to.
Y'all pay for yourself, girl.
Right, that's true. Well, we are moving forward with repairs. We wanted to give you the update. We've had several things repaired at Fort Monpau. We've been able to get part of the fort open. We got the brick stairway, entrance stairs repaired. We were able to get the parking lot open, the pavilions open, the bathrooms are open. So
The ceiling fans will be up for the wedding.
Yes.
Ceiling fans are here. Those are up for the wedding Saturday. We're still working on.
Parks is putting those up, or like
Yes.
Scott said he could do it, and so we're going to get them up for the wedding.
We've got lights
Still
on
working on the
stage. He's going to
landscaping.
put up too.
Yeah.
How
Oh, it's
did,
coming.
how did the stuff in the storage room?
Do? I think
At
it
the
did
fort?
fine. Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
outlets have been checked on the stage and all that stuff?
I don't know about that.
So the water didn't get in under the stage?
No, it didn't.
We'll recheck it though.
So the pier will go out to bid, and it'll be open June the 8th. FEMA will be in hopefully for a site visit next week on that. We're working on the sign, Carolyn's assisting with that.
The entrance sign at Fort Monpau. And we've also working with the sign designer that originally did the pier sign. She's going to send us an invoice. We were able to find a picture of the original sign, so she's going to replicate that for us. The playground matting is being put down this week. So we're going to have to make some decisions on what are we going to do with the playground once the matting is down.
I do have a question about that, because we discussed when the water comes in, what happens is it pushes that matting up at the drain. We were talking about putting a backflow preventer on that pipe.
Yes.
Is that going,
DMA
are we
handles
doing
it.
that, or?
We have a plan for it. It's not, they can go ahead and do the matting without that. But we do have a concept, we just need to authorize them to do a little bit of design work, basically cutting it back and putting in a backflow preventer. Wouldn't take a whole lot. But Matt and Ben Smith have talked about it, and they do have a plan. It's just not part of the
And that's a
so
FEMA mitigation project that we do have.
we might be able to couch it under as mitigation, so we do have that on the list of what comes next.
This service is a little different, Bobby, where it would only pop up one thing instead of taking the whole thing off, and it would be glued back down.
Yeah, that's part, this matting is impervious. So what happened before is the water would sink down and through the whole thing and then be funneled to the drain. So this is a solid surface, it's not pervious, so it's gonna have like a French drain kind of system. It's part of the design, so that the water will go into that and to the drain. So it doesn't have quite the same impact, but it is still a concern. But I think Mindy said that we can, talking to FEMA, that it would be good for mitigation. We'll do that after we get rid of all the
Public Works will be doing the clay void, making it freshwater in the next week or so, right, Candace? We intend to have both water parks up and open by Memorial Day weekend, like always. Gay Lemon, I'm not sure, you know, the county, as you all saw, the county did take the sidewalk up at the beach. If you've all been down there, it's pretty interesting watching it. I'm not exactly sure where we're at. We're trying to meet with Carolyn to see if we could move any funds from.
We may have some, and I'm gonna meet with Bobby more.
And so that's not doing anything this time. Hopefully that'll come back next time to the next thing. I don't know about the county and Gay Lemon. I don't know where we are on that. The public is very interested in Gay Lemon right now.
I know Alan has discussed that with Joe Neal, and it's on their schedule. I just don't know what the schedule is or when it's gonna be done.
Okay, and once that happens, then we'll look at leasing possibly those lights with Mississippi Power. I've asked them to come back with a lease on the football field, which is also the lacrosse field. So I think there might be a tournament this weekend or something, and I don't know if this would work. I was gonna ask, we do have some extra lights. I don't know if they're at the fire department,
Public Works has them.
at Public Works. If they need more lighting this weekend for a tournament, do we think that would work for us to put the, you know, the, what do you call that?
portable
cheap?
lights?
Not for lacrosse.
Not for lacrosse? Okay.
That ball's hard enough to see. You know, good
Those are
lighting.
too bright, is that what you're telling me?
And I've seen some of the tournaments out there, that I don't recall them going into the night. I mean, they start with the crack of dawn.
Stephen, as we cut the grass on that ballpark?
This morning, yes, sir. We need it. It's all taken care of.
Did they rake it after they cut it? Because there'll be a lot of grass. That was pretty tall.
They'll get the back.
So we feel like we are making progress finally, and we're excited about it. So hopefully the public will start seeing the results.
Awesome. Well, I know everybody's been working hard on everything mentioned above, and we appreciate everybody's dedication and hard work.
And from what I understand with the beach being replenished with sand, is the county's just waiting on their permit to come in so that they can start doing just that. Their permit had expired, I guess, and they've got, it's good for so many years. They're waiting on that. They were hoping it would come in within a couple of weeks, but I don't know.
I told Bobby, I thought the sand looked good, as long as we just not put it back and walk across there in the sand.
All right, thank you, Mindy.
All right.
All right, and next up, from the building department, we have a couple of tree appeals.
Mayor, I'll take these as both of my ward. We'll start with item E. It's called, the trees causing a little bit of damage, structural damage to the foundation, so I'm gonna make a motion to approve the tree appeal at 3227 Dijon.
I'll second.
Motion, Mr. Blackman, second, Mr. MP. Any discussion?
I just wanted to say that the reason it wasn't approved to begin with is because there wasn't documentation provided on that other tree. And that's kind of why it was not approved to begin with. But with the additional information, we've got pictures of the proximity to the home and the cracking of the concrete and everything. So
very cool.
Just so everybody knows.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Basically the same thing on item F. I'd like to make a motion to approve the appeal 3712 Berger Ave.
All right, motion, Mr. Blackman.
Second.
Second by Mr. Papania. Any further discussion?
Well, I'm curious, do we have concrete information that the pool is going in? I mean, we've been down this road before where we're gonna do all this work and then they take the trees down and you never see this stuff come to
He
fruition.
could change the motion to say after the permit's pulled for the pool.
Yeah, that's what we usually do.
Yeah, okay, that sounds good.
So I'll amend my motion to say that we approve the tree appeal at 3712 Bergerac pending a permit for the swimming pool.
All right, motion amended by Mr. Blackman. and
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Papania. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, Candace, drinking water supply inspection report. Are you?
I just basically wanted to say that we did get we had our inspection last month, the annual inspection, and the city earned a perfect 5 again.
Wow.
Excellent job, Public Works.
Well, I want to publicly thank Patty and Vicky and Kelly and Megan and her team. There's a lot that goes into this. It's not just us doing the inspection. So they want audit reports and budget reports, and so they were so helpful in getting all that to us. So.
Awesome.
And I know Ocean Springs holds the record in the state now. How many consecutive years is that?
Yeah.
A lot of years.
Yeah, I want to say it's 13.
Yeah, we did not have it last year.
Yeah, we did not have it last year.
Yeah, due to COVID, but we came back and we knocked it out of the park again.
Since we're doing the water towers, that's the stuff that moved us back up.
Excellent news, excellent news. Thank you, everybody. All right, and next up we have general public comment. If anybody would like to address the board for up to 3 minutes, you may come to the podium now. All right, and seeing none, we'll go to Alderman's Forum. Mr. Gill.
I got a list of things I'm gonna have to get with Candace and go over them. I'll come down there tomorrow, Candace. That's it.
I want to tell Patty and Mindy and whoever else was on that, appreciate it, because I know I had a lot of stuff damaged on the beach, and y'all spent a lot of time at the fort, the harbor, and all that stuff, so I appreciate it. I have just one question, on the finance committee, when are we gonna, who's on the finance committee right now? Rob, Bobby, Mike, and Mike. And that's, so it's gonna be the same 3 this year?
Don't normally do that in June.
Yeah, it hadn't been.
I know, but I'm just.
Oh, yeah, but when y'all do the mayor appoint.
I'm good with it, if I'm back.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody wants to get off, I'd like to
I'm back.
get back on it. So.
Do you want to go ahead and tackle that now, or just kind of wait?
No, we can wait, I just.
I
wanted
think
to
I'll
bring it
wait
up.
till after the election.
Yeah, we'll wait till after, but I would like to go on it. All right, that's it.
We'll kick Bobby off.
All right, Bob.
Candace, you want my list now, or you want me to bring it to you?
Just send it with John.
Y'all bring biscuits and donuts.
That's right.
I have one at 105 Burton Court. There is a tree in the drainage ditch behind the house, and they want to have that removed, please. It's damming up behind the house. And then I also need to discuss Linda's Circle. I know that has been an issue with the sod being replaced where they did the water repairs.
Yeah.
Grass has never come back, and I know the one gentleman, 170 Linda Circle, he said that they supposedly put seeds out, but the grass never came up. So everybody along that line's got bare spots. So if we can address that, either replace it with sod or definitely go out and rake it and put the seed in. Another thing I saw today, and I know Public Works addressed this, I guess 2 weeks ago, Ken, the stripes at Hanley and Government Street.
Partially, we're not finished.
I kind of think it's kind of backwards myself. I think you need to have a left-hand turn with a straight arrow and then a right turn only. right now you've got a right turn and straight and a left turn only.
For where again?
At
They
Hanley
should,
and Government Street.
That's been a
And
sore spot.
what's happening is people that are wanting to turn right, of course, is backed up because the red light, not letting people go straight. So it's backing everybody up, where if you put the straight lane with the left-hand turn while the light's red, then the
People
ones
just turn right.
they can turn right.
Makes sense.
Candace, I
We
think
did it based
Jonathan
on the
Hall
county
had drawn that, as Bobby described it, that's my understanding of the template.
I went by
We're gonna
today.
repaint. It had, has
And
it been repainted today?
It was,
Not this morning.
well, no, it's still a single left-hand turn, and then the right and the straight is in the right-hand lane. So
Yeah. Well, we've got- yeah.
Which direction are we talking?
we're going north,
Okay.
and it needs to be a left-hand turn and straight, and then a right turn only. If we can address that, please. And then we have the four-way stop, Ricky, on Russell and Calhoun. I know that's been in discussion. Well, three-way stop, I'm sorry, three-way
Yes,
stop,
we're going
Russell
to
and
discuss.
Calhoun. It's been in discussion for a few weeks now, a few months, really. And we did have a study conducted, and the study says that 32.7% is over the speed limit, with the maximum speed of 57.3. And most of that is at 3 PM. It's up to,
I went back and looked at it a little bit closer. It's equally distributed between 7 AM and 5 PM. So it's like every other hour, there's somebody that went 50 to 55.
it says 55 miles per hour
Up to
consistently
57.
recorded between 7 AM and 5 PM.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So,
It's,
I would like for us to go ahead and move forward with that three-way stop at Russell and Calhoun. I mean, it's up for discussion, give me your thoughts, but I think the studies have been done and for safety with Mr.
It'll
Doug
slow
in the
'em
back.
down, Bob.
I mean,
Yeah.
It will slow them down.
we don't need any more of this.
yeah, it's definitely the pass-through traffic of people avoiding downtown to get to both Biloxi, and as traffic gets worse on Government, it pushes down to Porter, and now it's pushing down. So, only a small percentage of that was under 10 miles an hour, which would be the people turning to and from Russell. So if you take that out, everybody else is pass-through, and majority of them are speeding. So.
It's one of them stop signs you say, or if you're driving along, you say, what in the world is a stop sign
Yeah.
doing right here?
Right.
Well, it's exactly midpoint between the two major, access
I
points.
mean,
So
they
it's-
need it, I don't.
And I know we can't do it
Downtown.
now, we'll have to wait till the resolution's here.
Right.
On the agenda, but I'd like to, if you've got any discussion, if any of y'all are against it, please speak up. If
I mean, I
not,
like
let's
it,
move
Bob, but
forward with it.
I was talking to the chief the other day, Chief Dunson, and he was talking about these, radar indicators, that he's gonna get one for each ward maybe. Is that right, Chief?
Working on it.
Looking at it?
Yes.
Because of the thing he's got that's on two wheels just stays broke all the time. Those things, put them in the budget, I think, I'm not speaking for him, but that's what I just repeat what he told me. And one for each ward, well, you can move it around on the telephone pole, and, I mean, it works okay.
Well, I'd like to make that motion that we have it for the next meeting to vote on.
All right, motion by Mr. Cox. Second. Second, Mr. Pena. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I got.
All right. Mr. Pena?
I hate to beat Candace up, I've got some things. Miss Candace, we do need to rush that deal at Hanley. I know I've been talking to you about it, and I was a little confused with Mr. Cox. Now, remember, I was thinking the southbound lane, we haven't painted yet, but let's
Correct.
just put that #1 priority and get that taken care of, please. The other two things I have, I've got folks who put dirt in their yard and it is washed into the street at Parkwood Place and Connor, those two areas. And
You talking about the new house on Parkwood?
no.
Oh, Parkwood, not-
Parkwood Place. Someone is Well, anyway.
They put dirt in there, we just go out there and make it look something.
The one we actually went out today and got onto the one, I think that was part wood.
Okay.
We nailed it.
Well, there's one on Connor, you probably don't go on Connor very kind of out of the way, but that one also needs to be addressed, those two areas.
I'll look at that.
And, James, can you give us an update on the monster ditch, where we stand on that project?
We're probably 85% done with the plans and specs, we're waiting on the permit.
Of course. Is that Corps of Engineers permit?
Yeah. We did get the permit last week for Wetwood, so they're moving up there slowly, but we're good.
Yeah.
Ken, how long has that been? How long has them engineering plans been in the
How long,
process?
James? How long have we been doing the engineering project?
For the monster ditch?
Yeah, on the monster ditch.
Over a
A year or two, a year or a year and a half.
I've reported 3 times.
10 months.
I think I've reported 3 times to.
We're gonna be able to finish this,
Yeah,
we're gonna be able to finish this project.
100% plans until we make sure what the Corps is gonna let us do in there.
Okay, okay. You know, we've got a 2-year
Right.
window on this thing. And we're gonna be able to do it in 2 years.
So, yeah.
Ken, is that the completion or just the engineering?
No, that's completion.
That's
Start to
completion.
finish.
How
Yes,
long
sir.
do we know before the Corps?
I tell you what, that's a big project. I think somebody better get
We don't know,
moving.
but I think, I'm guessing within the next month or two, we should probably hear back from
Yeah.
That'll probably
Just
leave a
keep-
year to complete the
Keep me
project.
appraised of that, James, so I know if you've got a problem, or do we need to do anything, or address anything, or call
So
somebody.
we're good, except for just waiting on the Corps permit.
Okay. Thank you. That's it.
Right.
All right, Mr. Blackman?
I just want to thank Candace. Putting up with all you, no. I actually sent her a list and she did work. I said, thank you for working on the list, Candace. That's all.
All right, Mr. Anthony? Okay, well, other than that, we can do I have a motion to recess until 6 p.m. Tuesday, May 18th.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Blackman, second, Mr. Gill, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, now recess.
Did you fall asleep? I know.